Abe, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Danny?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good. This is Abe Friedhanser from Awards Radar. I'm thrilled to be here today with Danny Strong, who is an executive producer and writer on Dopesick. It's really a fascinating series. What was your original impetus for wanting to bring it to the screen?
A very classy producer, John Goldwyn, came to me and said, "Do you want to write and direct a movie about the opioid crisis?" And once I started researching it, I couldn't believe what this criminal company did. I couldn't believe how a major health crisis, something as famous as the opioid crisis, actually occurred because of the lies, the deceit, the manipulation, the influence peddling of one pharma company that was run by a single family who micromanaged this company. This story I just found so shocking. And, this was 2018, and it was very clear that they were going to get away with it. And I thought people need to know what this company did. And then, I read about this U.S. attorney's case, a DA investigation. These all occurred in 2000 to 2007, 4 years after the drug had launched. And it made me think, oh, there's actually a pretty dynamic, exciting way to tell this story, that you could pay homage to the victims and tell a really moving, powerful story of addiction, but you could also intercut it with this legal thriller, an investigative thriller that you watch people exposing and uncovering the truly shocking crimes of this pharma company.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are so many different segments of the story, different plot lines. Did you approach it chronologically or by sort of group of people involved?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It was group of people, I think but then the group of people took place in different timelines. So it was kind of both at the same time, but it was really the sort of different buckets of people and storylines that were sort of the guiding force. And then I came to realize in constructing it that certain storylines worked great together. It was really powerful to cut from inside Purdue Pharma to the coal town, in which you see the people suffering from the lies and deceit that you see happening inside Purdue Pharma. That juxtaposition always seemed to work. And then to then go from the coal town to the investigators as they're uncovering information that we just saw people suffering because of this information. So it ended up starting to have what was a very complicated narrative device. Started after a few episodes, started to have a real flow to it. I've actually, even in writing the pilot, I started to feel that flow of it's actually kind of really compelling to go from this group of people to this group of people. But it certainly was as complicated a piece narratively as I've ever worked on.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And of
Oh,
course,
thank you.
and you're an actor as well, but there's such a great ensemble here. Did you consider at any point casting yourself? And if so, what role would you have taken on?
So I have never cast myself in any one of my projects because I just don't want to hire my least favorite actor. I'm just not interested in watching myself. The only time I was ever in anything that I ever wrote was because an actor dropped out at the last minute. It's actually the movie The Butler, and Lee Daniels called me and said, "Hey, will you do it?" And I said, "Sure." Yeah, and so that was the only time I've ever been in something that I actually wrote.
Did you encounter any pushback in this project to getting it made because of its subject matter?
I wouldn't say pushback. I would say disinterest.
Hmm.
There were just a lot of companies passed on it, that they didn't want to do it. And I thought, oh, I had this great book, Dopesick. It was already a bestseller. It was my first nonfiction story since The Butler and Recount and Game Change. And I just thought, oh, what an exciting topic, the opioid crisis. And no one cared. It was just pass after pass after pass. And I think they thought that the subject matter was going to be too dark or dispiriting. And I kept telling people, no, there's a huge element of the story that's going to play like a thriller, an investigative thriller and a legal thriller. But it didn't move the needle on that. So I'm so grateful to Hulu for having the courage to make it. And they just didn't make it. I mean, they put so much muscle and passion behind it. They were wonderful people to work with.
Thank you so much for speaking with me today, Danny, and best of luck in the future.
Oh, thanks so much. It was great seeing you, Abe.
Take care.